So after getting completely hooked on Destiny, and now Destiny 2, I needed a small break from multiplayer games. I decided to give Clair Obscur Expedition 33 a try because I had such a nice experience with Destiny, which is a genre I avoided for the longest time. It's the same with turn-based RPGs, never really enjoyed them. I tried Persona 5 and got a decent amount of time into it, but at one point it just dragged on and I got burnt out. I stayed mostly because of the music, and after a while I realised I could just listen to the music without playing. So again, I was completely caught off guard how amazing this game is. I can absolutely see why it got so much praise. And also, there was a dog involved in the making of this game, so how could it even be bad to begin with?
Clair obscur, trouble de rature, trouvera effet. Clair obscur, bordé aux peintures, trouvera sans elle. Clair obscur, trouble de rature, trouvera effet. Clair obscur, bordé aux peintures, trouvera sans elle.
Speaking of the dog, let's see who is involved apart from it. The studio behind the game is Sandfall Interactive, which is a very young studio, only being founded in 2020 by an ex-Ubisoft employee called Guillaume Broche. Man, these silly French people with their silly names, am I right? His wish was to create a JRPG like Final Fantasy, so he started recruiting off of Reddit and SoundCloud, and later on, even managed to get people from Square Enix and From Software. The studio grew from around 10 in the beginning to 33 people, excluding the dog, which is quite ironic. They would ship their first game in April of 2025, and it became an instant classic, being praised by pretty much everyone. So what is this game about? It revolves around a strange being called the Paintress. The Paintress draws a number on a giant monolith every year. This is called the gommage, a French word which translates to erasing. It's quite fitting because everyone with the age of the number gets erased from existence. To combat this entity, every year an expedition is sent out to the monolith to figure out what exactly is happening and why it's happening. The expedition consists of people who are younger than the number written, and so this year everyone under 33 can go, as it is voluntarily. One of these people is Gustave, the main character we play as, so we start the journey across the ocean to see what's going on, and the reality of it hits instantly for everyone involved. After the arrival on the shore, pretty much the whole expedition gets killed off instantly. I didn't expect that, neither did the expedition, I think. The game doesn't wait at all to traumatise you. Gustave survives and wakes up in a strange but beautiful forest area, and we encounter our first enemy. There was a tutorial for the combat at the beginning of the game, but I think it makes more sense to explain the combat here. Different than in other JRPGs is that you can evade and parry attacks. Evading is easier, but it is much more rewarding to parry. Also, when you use abilities, you get these small quick-time events where you need to press a button at the right moment. Do it perfectly, and you will deal more damage. It isn't much, but these three things make the combat feel much more interactive than in other games. Following that first encounter, Gustave struggles a lot to process what happened at the beach earlier. And when we stumble into a cave, which literally has a mountain of corpses from our expedition in it, he is ready to end it all right then and there. It broke my heart seeing this woman impaled. We met her at the farewell party earlier in the game. It makes me really feel sorry for Gustave. But when all hope is lost, Luné appears and snaps Gustave out of it. Luné instantly became one of my favourite characters.
This right here is my favorite thing ever.
And I had her always in my party. She uses elemental magic in battle. I love how she just floats around instead of running. And her intro to every fight is such a beautiful animation. With a newfound determination, we begin to search for Maëlle, Gustave's adoptive sister. We find her in some sort of manor, and here I need to say that these characters are all voiced so damn good. I honestly can't remember which was the last game where it was on this level, maybe Red Dead Redemption 2.
Hey, get lost, buddy! Shut up, mister! Yeah, shut your mouth, mister!
Just listen to this part here and how lifelike and believable it is.
see why you like throwing rocks.
You've been quiet since you saw those people.
It felt like they knew me. Like, actually knew me. I don't understand what's happening. And I feel like I never understood. Like, I'm always missing something that everyone else just gets. In Lumiere, life never made sense, and I never fit, and now out here, when it was just starting to maybe feel good, then this happens, and...
Yeah. I hate it too. Things we don't understand. They just make us feel small and powerless. But it helps, you know, to focus on the things I do understand, on the people I care about and who care about me. And, you know, now I feel a little less lost, because at least we're lost together.
No wonder my Elle's actress won an award for it. Stuff like this makes moments later on in the game hit so much harder, but we will get to that in a bit. For now, we travel further on and arrive at the Gestural village, where we pick up another one of our surviving expeditioners, Ciel. She joins us after we beat her in a fight. Well, actually, I lost to her, but she still joins us. And right after that, we pick up Esquier, who can help us travel the sea, so we can reach the monolith, but to do that, he needs a stone which he calls Flory.
I will need Flory.
Who's Flory?
One of my rocks.
Rocks?
See? Flory helps me swim. But Flory was stolen by my arch nemesis. One whose every step shakes the foundation of the world. The one known as... Francois.
Okay.
We then fight Francois, only to find out that he didn't have the rock as he left it in another place. So we are headed there next and have our first real boss encounter with the Lampmaster. We beat him, get the rock, but before we can cross the sea, this happens.
Well, you know, like I always say, it's not about the rock. It's more about the...
I couldn't believe it.
No.
When Verso appears moments later, I honestly thought, oh look, he's not dead, it's Gustave, just older, somehow. Out of spite, I didn't even use him when he joins our party right after, because he is not Gustave. You can see me just standing there after all the cutscenes finished playing. After I took a break and came to terms with what happened, we are on our way to find our last party member, Monoko. Maybe you catched it, but he is named after the developer dog, which is such a nice little thing. Now that we collected all party members, I can briefly explain how they are different from each other and get into the RPG elements of the game. Every character has its own fighting style. Gustave uses a mechanical arm, which he loads up with his abilities to power up his attacks. Lune uses elemental magic and collects different elemental fragments which empower her. Maëlle switches between stances, which determine if she is defensive or more aggressive. Ciel has a form of tarot cards, using light and dark to combine the two to achieve Twilight, where she deals massive damage. Verso has a style meter to gain additional effects and damage on his moves. And Monoko is a special case. He collects feet from defeated enemies, which then function as his abilities. He will transform into the enemy and use their signature move. In addition, he has a dial which rotates a certain amount, depending on the used attack, buffing his abilities. He is also a very charming guy.
I will never join you again.
There will be a lot of fighting, though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's true.
There will be a lot of fighting.
Exactly.
Count me in then.
Good.
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 Yes, good.
It's a lot in the beginning, but you get the hang of it very quick, and they are all fun to use. Even Verso. Like your classical RPG, you have your attributes which you can allocate points to after you level up, and a skill tree where you can unlock different abilities. Additionally, every character can hold up to 3 so-called pictos. These are items you can either find in the overworld or are rewarded after a fight. They give you big stat boosts and a unique passive ability. For example, one boosts your burn so it holds 6 rounds instead of 3. Another one lets you get ability points with each successful parry. You get the idea. After 4 fights with an equipped Picto, the passive ability unlocks and can now be put onto every character for a set amount of Lumina points. This allows for a lot of cool builds and even got me into build crafting, which I normally never do. You could get the impression that the game is flawless, but it certainly has its bad parts. I skipped every platforming section because it's just abysmal. They should have kept them out of the game entirely. Luckily, they are all optional. Then there is the story, which, don't get me wrong, is amazing, but it gets complicated and you really have to focus if you don't want to get completely lost. Or play the game more than once, which I did. Also, the overworld only exists to get you from one point to another. While there are enemy encounters, they don't do much in terms of adding life to it. The difficulty can also be very inconsistent. It is not an easy game at all. I can't remember the last time I struggled this much, and it can get very frustrating. Some enemies will attack 4, 5, 6 times, and you need to evade or parry every one of them, or you will die. A certain someone will also remind you quite often that you should parry.
Parry it!
Yes, Mael, I'm trying. At one point, I even forgot that you can evade, because I tried to parry everything. But when you get the hang of it and learn the patterns and telegraphs of the enemies, it feels amazing, as it becomes this very flow-like experience. Now, for the last part, we need to speak about the soundtrack. Probably my favourite thing about the game. The music was composed by a guy named Lorien Testard. He worked as a guitar teacher, and in his free time he produced music for video games and uploaded them to SoundCloud, where he was discovered by Guillaume. The music is a big factor for the success of the game, and the soundtrack even managed to get on the US charts, where it reached #1 in the classical albums category. With the release of the physical album, it also reached #2 in Germany. It is so nice to see that you don't need $1 billion to achieve something this amazing, only passion and a vision. It is this very nice mix of classical music, kick-ass guitar, and more experimental sounds. It really is an amazing soundtrack, and I would like to show you some of my favourite pieces from it. My god, is it good. I loved every second of this game, and despite me being quite skeptical of it in the beginning, I actually became pretty obsessed with it. Every character is so lovable and they all have such a nice chemistry between each other. Sandfall did an amazing job, and I can't wait to see what this studio does in the future. Thank you for watching. And like my boy Gustav would say, for those who come after.